All right, everybody. Welcome to this Team Beachbody overview. My name's Ryan Chapman. I've been a coach for about 5 years now, a little bit over 5 years. And over that time, I've had quite a bit of success now and have a really awesome team we call Team Rhino. Some of those people are on this call with us today and have probably invited some of you to it. And so I'm just going to go through how I got into coaching and how I became successful with coaching and how I grew this team. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about Team Beachbody and the actual opportunity, some of the details of it so that you understand all that stuff. And what I want you all to understand as you watch this is that I'm not going to try to convince you that this is the greatest thing in the world. I'm not going to, try to do some kind of sales presentation thing that's going to, talk you into joining with us. All I really want to do, all I honestly really want to do is tell you my story about why I did it and why I love it, and then tell you what some of the details are about the opportunity so that you can make your decision about whether you want to join us in this opportunity or not, join our team, and maybe some of this stuff will relate with you and you'll say, yeah, I struggle with that too, and I would like to change that, and this looks like an opportunity that could help me change that, because that's what it was for me. I was a engineer in the Department of Defense, so I worked on aircraft carriers for the Department of Defense. My wife was also in that field. We both fixed aircraft carriers for the Department of Defense, and I was going along in that career path just fine. This is, of course, after come back just a little bit further, and I was 100 pounds heavier than I am today, and I ended up losing 100 pounds through a bunch of stuff like restricting my calories and working out an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. And then I'm moving along in this career field, and I'm thinking what everyone else thinks when they're in a career field, especially one where you spent some time going to college to get a degree and you get hired and you're making decent money. I was making, by the time I quit that job, I was making six figures in that job. And I was just moving along in this career path, and I was the type of person that was like, I want to move up, I don't want to just 35 years right here. I want to, work my way up. And I had goals and visions of being project superintendent, GS-15 level, maybe even SES level, where, you're like admiral level on the civilian side of Navy type stuff. And so I was just working my way up. No thought to anything like a home-based business. No thought to, making fitness anything that was part of my business. I was doing triathlons at the time after I'd lost a bunch of weight. And so I was into fitness, but it was a personal thing. It wasn't really for the purpose of, creating a business out of it. Then I started helping people too, because people said, oh, you lost 100 pounds. Oh, you're doing these triathlons. Oh, you're getting faster. Oh, you're doing this. What should I do? And so I started helping people, and I started doing things like running weight loss challenge groups in my job. So I would get 25 or 30 people on a project that I was on. They had all put $50 in a pot. We'd end up with, $700,000, $800,000 in a pot. And we would all go through, say 10 weeks, and everybody would report their weights to me. I would put them in a spreadsheet, make little graphs for everybody and all kinds of stuff. I was totally, engineer nerd with it and everything, had graphs and all that stuff. And then I would give 70% of the pot to the winner and 20% to second place and 10% to third place. I don't know how many of these things I ran at my job, and I was just helping people get fit. I became the go-to guy for fitness and for health and for nutrition and stuff at my job. And so as we go along through this, there's a couple of very serious turning points that happened in my thought about my career and what I thought I wanted to do. The first one was that my wife got pregnant with twins, and I had no idea, even the day that we found out that we were having twins, of course, what that actually meant. You don't know what it's going to be like, and there's nobody that can tell you what it's going to be like. You just have to experience something like having twins, right? And so that was a big turning point. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a father. That didn't really change my career path until I was in Washington, D.C., for a 3-month stint at the Washington Navy Yard out there. And that's where a lot of the higher level people that run shipyards around the nation, like the shipyard that's here in Bremerton where I live, they're like admirals and admiral level people on the civilian side. And I got to go out there for a mentoring opportunity out there where I'd be out there for 3 months and I get to talk to a lot of these higher level people. And I sat down with one of them who, was like the guy, like he kind of had my career path. Like he was the one that was like, this guy did what I want to do, So I sat down with him. I started talking to him. He was an electrical engineer at a different shipyard. I was a mechanical engineer at this shipyard. And I said, well, how'd you get where you got? I started talking to him about his career path. He said, I raised my hand for every hard thing that ever came up. And I was like, I do that. I raise my hand for every hard thing. I'm on the same path as you. And then I said, well, how much did, what was your career path like? How did it feel? He was like, well, I probably worked 10, 11, 12-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week for about 20 years. To get to this point where I'm now a senior executive level and I've got this big office and I'm sitting next to an admiral in Washington, D.C. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, 20 years of 10, 11, 12-hour days doing everything that's hard. Okay, all right. I'm thinking, all right, let's go do this thing. And then he said, but it's so much better now. Of course, I'm thinking at the same time, those 20 years probably were a good portion of his kids' lives, right? That's like the formidable years of these kids' lives. And so I just asked him, well, what's life like now? He says, oh, it's much better now. I only work every other weekend. So I work 5 days a week and then one Saturday every other week. And I only work 8-hour days. He says, I usually get on the metro in DC at about 7 a.m. I'm usually here by about 8. And then I usually leave here about 6 p.m. or so. And I was like, what 8-hour day is that? That's not an 8-hour day, And so basically, I think he just retired and he spent about 35 or 40 years of his life within the shipyards. And I just said, I'm not gonna fault someone for living that life. I'm not gonna say you're stupid if you do that. I'm not gonna say, he probably would say I lived a great life, and he's still living. I had a great career, right? And I did good things and I provided for my family and I made good money and all that kind of stuff. But I just said to myself, like at that point, there was this turning point where I said, I don't want to trade dollars for hours and spend 20 years of my life missing the recitals and missing the dances, missing the gymnastics, missing the little league, whatever it is with my kids. Like, I feel like that's too big of a price for me. And everyone can make their own decision about that. But for me, that felt like too big of a price. And that was a turning point in my head where I didn't actually make the decision right there that I'm going to find something different, but something switched where I was like, I'm not sure that this is the right career path for me anymore. And what I first did was I said, I'm just going to stick where I'm at. And I'm not going to try to move up because I don't want to get into that 20 years of 12-hour days thing. I'm going to, basically just sit where I'm at in this career. I'm making good money. I can spend more time with my kids. At almost that exact same time, right after that, the kids were born and P90X came into my life because there was no way I could do my triathlon workouts 2 and 3 hours out on my bike with newborns in the house, 2 of them, because I couldn't leave my wife there with those kids, right? And so I picked up a copy of P90X. I picked it up off of eBay, and it was a rip-off version from China when I got it, because it was all like there was typos everywhere and some of the discs didn't work right and all kinds of stuff. But I picked up a copy of P90X. I had no idea that the coaching opportunity even exists, this opportunity that we're talking about today. And I loved it. And I met my upline coach, Dave Ward, on a Facebook page. And I ended up signing up as a coach. And I had no idea what I had in my hand, the opportunity that I had to help people in my hand with this coaching opportunity. But what it eventually turned out was that I saw the opportunity after talking to Dave for a while and seeing what he was doing with the opportunity. And I said, this is one of the ways, this is a way, and a very good way, that I can do stuff that I love, that I'm already doing, helping people with their fitness, right? I told you I was doing those groups at work anyway. I'm going to do something that I love and that I'm already good at and I'm already doing. And I'm going to be able to slowly build an income that could possibly at one point replace the income that I'm making now, so that I can be with my kids more, or at least supplement the income so that I could pull back from my job a little bit, not worry about moving up, and spend that time with my family, because that's what I really wanted to do. It may not be something that is a priority for you because maybe you don't have kids, but the point is that I saw an opportunity to not trade dollars for hours and be controlled in my schedule by someone else. That was the main thing for me. That shipyard was controlling my schedule and saying, this is when you can and can't see your kids, basically. And I didn't like that. That was my enemy. That was my thing that I said, I don't want them to say you can't spend time with your kids. And so in 2012, 3 years after my kids were born, I quit my engineering job and went full-time with Team Beachbody. And that has literally changed my life. I get to walk my kids to school every single day. I get to pick my kids up from school. So 9 o'clock in the morning, I take them to school. 3 o'clock, I pick them up. And I'm actually considering homeschooling them just because I am missing them during that time. And now there's this school that's controlling my schedule and how much I can see my kids. And so like, I just get so many opportunities to actually be around them. And I work a ton. I work all the time because I want to, but I work on my schedule. I work when I say I work, not when someone else says I work. So I might be working at midnight, but it's my choice to do that. It's not that someone is saying, hey, you will be here from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a 1 hour lunch, right? So that's kind of my story about how I got into coaching and why I did it. It may not be your story. It may not relate to you, but there's a lot of reasons to do this business. It could be $500 a month that you want to make. It could be that you want to quit your job and fire your boss. It could be any of those things. I'm going to go through some now that I've kind of told my story. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I hope that this works okay. Usually does. But I'll share my screen with you. PowerPoint here. Gabe, can you just give me the thumbs up that you can see that? Perfect. And there we go. Okay, so got it. Okay, so we're just going to go through this quick presentation on what Team Beachbody is about. First of all, I think you can kind of see through the story that I was telling that because I'm able to help people with this business, this opportunity isn't just about, making money. This is what, in the industry you would call a cause marketing opportunity, which means that you're not only solving a huge social problem, but it's also a business. So you make profit and you solve a huge social problem at the same time. So a nonprofit or a charity works to solve a huge social problem without profit. A cause marketing opportunity is a for-profit business that also solves a huge problem. There's a lot of businesses out there that would not be considered a cause marketing opportunity because it's only for profit. It's not solving a huge social problem, okay? One of the things that I love about this business, and I always want to talk about it, is that we are a cause marketing opportunity, and I love that. We're having breakthrough success, and here's the deal. We're only in the United States and Canada right now with this opportunity, and we still don't have enough coaches to actually meet the demand. We feel like we need 1 million coaches to actually make a serious dent in the trend of obesity just in our country, and we have about 300,000 right now. So we need at least 3 times the number of coaches that we have right now in order to actually meet the demand for the stuff that we're talking about, for the problem that we're working on, which of course is obesity. 2/3 of adults, 1/5 of kids are overweight in our country right now. This is just talking about the US. It's a growing epidemic. This is 2010, which probably doesn't even really show the picture, right, of what it is. But the darkest red that you can see there, the darkest reddish orange color, there's like 13 states there that have a BMI greater than or equal to 30. 30% or more of the state has a BMI greater than or equal to 30, which is approximately 30 pounds overweight for a 5'4" person, okay? So greater than 30% of those 13 states. To me, that's kind of staggering, and I think it's worse than that now. They just haven't updated this data. Actually, they changed how they do the data, so we can't compare anymore. But 2010, this is what it was. So there's a huge problem, right? Our purpose is for ending that trend, and we have thousands of success stories every week in Beachbody. You've seen a lot of them. The one on the left there is actually my friend Anthony Graham, who is on our team, and he won $500 for his transformation with T25. So the company's Beachbody. You probably should know that now, but it was founded in 1998. This is one of the best parts to me. It's founded in 1998 by Carl Deichler and John Congdon, but the coaching opportunity that we're a part of did not come about until 2007. What did they do between 1998 and 2007? Infomercials. You guys have probably seen all the infomercials that they've done. They have, I don't know, the 8 #1 ranked infomercials, and it might be more than that now because a couple of the newer programs have been ranked #1 as their infomercial too. So they did a whole bunch of infomercials. It was great. They were selling products and people were using them somewhat and getting fit, and it was a great deal. I mean, good business. They were good at the infomercial business. Here's the problem that they found though. Infomercials only, that you can sell an exercise program, you can sell a nutrition product, you can do both of those very, very well, make a lot of money selling both of those things, but you cannot provide personal support through an infomercial. People do not become part of a community. People do not get support through an infomercial, right? So in 2007, what they did is they, first of all, in like 2004, 2005, when P90X came out, they did a survey of all the people that bought it off the infomercial, or a lot of the people that bought it off the infomercial. And they found 55% of the people that bought P90X off the infomercial did not open the box. 55%, which is crazy to me that people wouldn't open the box, but they didn't have support. There was no accountability. There wasn't a community. They weren't part of something, moving in a direction. They were just buying something off the TV, right? So in 2007, they invited some of the people who had results with P90X and who were helping out on their new message boards to become part of Team Beachbody. And they launched the Coach Network to be the support system for their products. So now the system works that someone buys P90X through someone like me, or someone like someone else on this call who's a coach, or you in the future when you become a coach here, maybe right after this presentation, who knows, when you become a coach, people buy the product through you. You get a piece of the money instead of the infomercial paying the infomercial and all the advertising. You get that money instead of the cost of advertising. And then that person gets your support, your community, your challenge groups, all of your help to make sure that they make it through the program. They become part of a community and part of something. And so what I love about that is that our side of the business was not created to sell more products. It was created to provide support so people got better results with the products. And that's awesome. So most people know our brands, right? I mean, like if you don't know P90X, Hip Hop Abs, Insanity right now, I mean, all the Insanity stuff, the new size program, all of Shaun T's stuff is huge. All of Chalene Johnson's stuff is huge. All of Tony Horton's stuff is huge. People know a lot of our brands. And so as a coach, you have that to your advantage because they've already done all the advertising with all the infomercials, and they still do that side of the thing. And so you have brand awareness. When you go to talk to somebody about P90X, they already know what you're talking about. You don't have to explain it, right? Okay. Then we have Shakeology, right? So that we have the fitness piece, which is all those workout programs. We've got the Shakeology, which is the nutrition piece, which is like, if you can find a shake on the market that is better than Shakeology as far as ingredients and being clean and being actually healthy for you to put in your body every day, I'd love for you to show it to me, but I've never seen anything like Shakeology on the market. And then on our team, we have one specific tool that no other team has, and that's 90/10 Nutrition, which is a free nutrition program that you can bring some of your prospects into and say, hey, try out this 90/10 Nutrition program, learn how to eat better, and then they will become a part of the community, and you'll be able to let them decide whether they want to get into more things like Shakeology or workout programs. Okay, so we've got this 90/10 Nutrition program that has a huge success, and it's one of the things that our team relies on to help bring business into the Beachbody side of things, and also actually help people learn how to eat real food instead of packaged junk. Okay, so we've got that on our team. So we have the fitness, we have the nutrition. So we've got the fitness programs, we've got the nutrition in Shakeology, we've got the nutrition with 90/10 Nutrition, and then you are the support. Okay, so the coaches bring that third piece that brings it all together. Fitness plus nutrition plus support equals success. Okay, so what do coaches do? I've kind of already touched on this. They help Beachbody customers meet their goals through challenge groups and other community type support systems. So you're going to stay in touch with your customers through groups, through email, whatever works best for you to help support your customers. You're going to share products with people that you care about and you'll let them decide if they want to or not. We don't spam people. Just like I'm educating you guys on what this opportunity is about, and then you get to decide whether you want to come to it or not, whether you want to be a part of it or not. There's not going to be any coercing. It's here's what it's about, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it personally. Here's what it's about. Would you like to join? And if they don't, that's totally cool with us. Just like it's totally cool if you guys don't join us as coaches, but we're going to keep doing it because it's amazing and we love it. Okay. That's exactly how you're going to be as a coach. You're also going to have fun and create lasting relationships. A lot of the other people on this call are really good friends of mine now because they've joined into the business and I've become friends with them, or they become customers and I've become friends with them. And I earn a heck of a lot of awesome income. Okay. Just to say, we talked about 2/3 of Americans are obese or overweight. That's the kids and the adults. We talked about Beachbody produces the #1 selling product, so you have that brand awareness, the big brands that people ask for. We talked about Team Rhino. My team specifically has additional tools to relate to people that you know, like 90/10 nutrition, right? So we've got all of that going for us, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it. So there's not a whole lot of risk. This is probably one of the lowest risk businesses I've ever seen. You're going to probably buy a challenge pack when you start, and you're going to spend $140 to $200 on that, depending on which one you get. And that's pretty much your entire investment, plus it has a 30-day money-back guarantee on it. I cannot think of any business that you can start for that little money that could make you as much money as this business could, or help as many people. If you started a retail location, you'd be in $50, $60, $100, $200,000 just to get the business started. And 2 to 3 years later, you'd be making that money back. I see people make their money back in the first month in this business if they do what we tell them to do, which is really simple stuff. Not easy, but simple stuff, right? I'm not going to tell you this is get rich quick. It's not. You have to work. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to, get there in 1 month. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to skyrocket to 6 figures in 3 months. None of that stuff. And I'm not going to tell you that you sit back and work an hour a day and get there. Okay. You work hard, you do a lot of stuff, and you will get there. That's how I like to say it, because I don't want anybody to think that this is some kind of a get rich easy business. I work very hard to get to where I am, but I work on my schedule and I don't have a lot of overhead, like hardly any. Okay. This is my income. Example income, my monthly earnings from when I started as a coach up to January of 2015. And you can see that it grows. I didn't put the left-hand side there just because I didn't really want to tell people exactly what it is, but I do have a 6-figure income from this, just to give you guys an idea, because I don't want you to think that I'm, showing you like $200 a month here or something like that. Okay. So this is a 6-figure income, but you can see how the growth from about 2012, when I really took this business seriously, up to 2015, just grows and grows and grows every year. And I don't know about you, but my business or my job at the shipyard did not grow at this rate. I had a 3% that I would grow every year. And if I had any raises, I could maybe grow 5% in a year, 5 or 10% at the most in income. Here I'm growing 100 to 200% every year, basically. I mean, I'm growing like a whole lot more than that. Okay, so that's just an example. Here's what I would ask all of you that are on this call. How much or what result would you need to make doing this part-time to make it worth it? Ask yourself that question. How much would you need to make doing this part-time to make it worth it? If you were making $500 a month working part-time, what would that do for your family? What would that do for you? Maybe it's 1,000 that you need to make. Maybe it's only 200. That would change your life, 200. It could pay your car payment. It could pay your this. It could pay your electric bill, whatever it is. It's going to be different for all of you. What is that for you? And how many hours are you willing to put in to make that happen? How many hours a week or how many hours a month? Define that. And how many months are you willing to work to see that result? So if I told you, yes, you can make $500 a month working 1 hour a day, and you'll be making that by the 3rd month, then you ask yourself, if I could show you how to do that, would you be ready to get started right now? Ask yourself those questions. How much would you want to make? How many hours you're willing to put in to make it happen? How many months are you willing to work till you start seeing that result? And if I could show you how to do that, would you be ready to get started right now? If your answers to those questions are unreasonable and you want to work 1 hour a month for 3 months and make $100,000, well, then I'm not going to be able to show you how to do that. But if your answers are reasonable, I probably can show you how to do that. And so then you just have to ask yourself, are you willing to get started right now? And the other question I always ask people is, if you're not ready to get started right now, then is what you're doing right now going to get you to where you want to be? Because you're only going to get something different by doing something different. Okay, so if this is not the right thing for you, I encourage you to go out there and find that something different that will get you to the goals that you're looking for. If this is the thing that you think could get you to where you want to be, then contact the coach that sent you this video, contact the coach that invited you to this webinar, and talk to them about how to get started. And we'll get you through the training, and we'll show you the things that you need to do to make that amount that you talked about in the time that you talked about in the number of months that you talked about, okay? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate everyone being on this call, and I think that is all we have for right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and you can always email me at Ryan, R-Y-A-N, at tribasetraining.com. That's Tribase training.com if you have any questions. Thanks, everybody.